All right, good morning and welcome back to Forgotten Dailies. Sorry it's a little bouncy. The roads are crap, plain and simple. So I got my buddy G driving. We're en route to pick up another car. This is a long drive, approximately 4 hours one way. So we're going to be on the road for a little while. We're about to head into the state up north. For all OH fans, you know what that is. And then at that point in time, I guarantee the roads will really turn to crap. So, with that said, we're cruising around Toledo, heading to Michigan to pick up another one. We'll do a video of it once we get there. We've been on the road, 2 hours, give or take?
Yeah.
Give or take 2 hours. So, we still got a couple hours to go. We'll update you as we come along. Alright, so it's been a few weeks since I got home with the car I'm about to talk about a little more in depth. I'm trying to change up how I do these videos, so bear with me. It's a 1983 Dodge Shelby Charger. Everybody knows that in the 70s, late 70s, early 80s, Chrysler was struggling. They were on the verge of bankruptcy, and of course they got a loan, bailout, whatever you want to call it, from the federal government, and Lee Iacocca was in charge at the time. And Lee Iacocca and the team at Chrysler created the K platform, and that pretty much saved Chrysler, and today we still have Dodge around. Unfortunately, we've lost Plymouth in the years, but it's okay. It is what it is. So anyways, back to this. And in 1983, Dodge, Lee Iacocca decided that he needed to add a little performance to their line. And him and Carroll Shelby were friends from way back in the Mustang days. So he brought Carroll Shelby in, and they created this car. And then as the years progressed, it got better and better. Of course, at the end, there was some turmoil between, Chrysler and Carroll Shelby, but that's a different story. We won't get into that one. So the 1983 Dodge Shelby Charger was introduced mid-year, and it cost less than $8,300. Unfortunately, it wasn't a turbo car. Those come out in 84. But in 83, what you got was a high output 2.2, and I'm trying to read too here, had a different camshaft and higher compression ratio. This gave it 107 horse. Today's standards and the 60s standards, that 107 horse isn't a whole lot, but you got to keep in mind this is emissions, 80s, 4-cylinder, carbureted. They were starting, and at least they were going in the right direction compared to what they were doing, earlier than this. The cars would eventually get the turbo engine and bump that horsepower rating up quite a bit. So they ended up getting a new 5-speed transmission. But the real performance part of this car was more the suspension and the handling and the steering. It got a heavier suspension, quick ratio rack and pinion steering, and it was actually lowered. I didn't know that, but they were lowered. I can't find it here. Anyways, they were lowered like 1.5 inches or something like that. And then they come with the pizza wheels that all Shelby Chargers had, excluding the GLHS. Then the 15-inch tires and the springs, shorter springs, were 30% stiffer in the front and 15 in the rear. So then they also added the different nose with the air dam. Then they added the side cladding, the ground effects down the sides. They added the stripes, the Shelby logo on the side. And then they put the CS logoed interior in all of them. There was only 2 colors available in 83. That was the silver on blue, and then the blue over silver. The blue over silver is probably the more common, I think. Those are the ones that I personally have seen the most of. They actually did have an automatic in these, which was very unusual. You could get all the regular options: air conditioning, rear defrost, sunroof, rear cargo cover, things like that. You can add up the radio to get a better radio with cassette player, etc. They also had a light package, which was a headlamp online buzzer or warning buzzer, a glove box light, ignition switch light with a time delay, a cargo light, and a map light. Then they had the protection group, which was floor mats front and rear, and then undercoating. In the so these were actually fairly popular even when they were new, and there was a total production of 8,251 of these Shelby Chargers in '83, and they were introduced in a mid-year. So 3,066 or 3,069, depending on what you read, they were silver with the blue stripes, and then 5,185 or 5,182 were blue with the silver stripes. The car that we have here is blue with silver stripes, so it was the higher number production, and it is a 5-speed, or actually it shows it's a 4-speed, but we're going to get into that further. The shift knob shows it's a 4-speed. I haven't messed with it enough to find out. I didn't know that these came with a 4-speed, but I guess anything is possible back in the day, or it could have been swapped to who knows when. So the Shelby Charger is not a K-based car. They are actually an L-body, and they are based off the Omni, which to come out in 1978. They were the 024. The Rampage was based off of this body. So all the underpinnings are specific to the L-body for the most part. Their engine stuff is K-based, but the L-body is smaller and lighter and really just a cheaper car. But I had one in high school, an '87 Shelby Charger, and I just absolutely loved that car. Had a lot of fun in that car. It was quick for what it was. You keep in mind this is the early '90s, so not much of anything out there was putting out over 200 horsepower. So we worked with what you had. Dodge ended up going on, with the turbo engine later on, and then of course, as the '87 GLHS Charger and the '86 GLHS Omni. And it's been noted that Carroll Shelby said that the Dodge cars were his favorites to work on, to build. A lot of Shelby guys argue that, but again, that's another discussion for another day that I'm not going to get into. So with that said, we'll do a walk around on this car, and I'll talk about what it is, and it's going to be parted out. It's already on our store on eBay, so it's about to go into the garage here in a few minutes, and the teardown's about to begin. I've actually sold some parts off the car already. Got a gentleman coming from out of state to pick those up here in the next week or two. So with that said, let's get into the car, and I'll talk about what it is. So one of the notable things about an '83 is these taillights. In '84, they changed taillights to a different style. That was about the only change on the back end, was that. And then '86, I believe, pretty sure, is when they got the third brake light. You can also get louvers for these cars. I don't know if they were available in '83. What I found, I didn't find anything stating that they were. It's unfortunate on this car. It is from Michigan, and it was a Michigan car its whole life, and it's sat for I don't know how many years now, but quite a while. But you can see the rust is just completely annihilated everything possible on it. I haven't really been underneath the car because it's been on my trailer since we brought it home. But I can imagine if the rockers and the rear quarters look that bad, that the floors are gone just as well. So here you see the 4-lug pizza wheels. In '84, when they started turbocharging, they converted those to 5-lug. So the 4 lugs are kind of unusual. I think, and again, if I'm wrong, please don't hesitate to correct me. I think '83 was the only year of 4-lug pizza wheels on these cars. You see the front nose, graphics. They had the silver stripe. It's kind of hard to see because it's so dirty. But this is a silver stripe that runs all the way down the whole front of the car, up across the roof and down along the back. And then they all have the silver ground effects. Except for the silver cars, the ground effects would have been blue. These stripes down the side are silver on this car. A silver car would again had blue. So let's walk around to the other side because this door handle is broke. And you can see, even on this side, I know it's hard to see with the light, but this quarter panel's gone, and it looks like it's starting to go up in there. But it might not open all the way because it's not going to clear my fender, so I'll do the best I can. So 83 dash was this year only. They changed the dash layout in 84. Well, not really the layout. They changed the glove box in 84. The instrument cluster changed in 84. Whereas the clock from this one here, the 83, had a clock in the cluster itself. And in 84 it moved down to the digital radio. The center console is pretty much the same. The door panels are the same. They would be two-tone, silver with the blue top portion. The steering wheel is blue on this car. The headliner, well, lack thereof, is a gray silver color. It's hard to see, but the door lock knobs, bezels also changed in 84 from what I can tell. So with that, let's get show you under the hood real quick. Oh, if I can get up here, bear with me. So the 83 Shelby Charger with the carbureted engine also came with a chrome valve cover. That's unique to this model only. Yeah, there's not a lot under here. It's got the looks to me like it's the original Holley carburetor. Growing up, I remember them were a troublesome issue, but they've got them now where you can change the carburetor to a different brand or whatnot, and it works better. So, with that said, this car is about to go into the garage. I got the duster done. Well, done enough to get it out of the garage. And then we'll start to tear down on this one here. So hopefully some of the information I provided helps out on these, helps you to learn a little bit. Again, like always, don't hesitate to comment. Tell me if you see something I said wrong. I'm not against being corrected. So 83 Dodge Shelby Charger. What I also just found too, maybe correct that, was they were about $9,600 new. So anyway, 83 Dodge Shelby Charger has moved on its own the last time. Its next stop will be in the garage, and then after that it'll be pretty much a hulk of a shell when I'm done. So follow along on that. I'll be doing videos on that as well, updating. Every time I work on it, I'll update how much I got done, just to kind of give you an idea of what all is inside these cars and how they come apart and all that good stuff. So like, follow, subscribe, leave a comment, let me know what you think. Let me know if there's anything you want to see, any how-tos. I will do my best to work on it. I appreciate you watching, and I hope you have a great day.